I'm pleased to sponsor the Alternative Interview.
I think he talks about Ray Warburton. Jason Turin's is another experienced player coming to sort of the end of his Aldershot time there. But then mix that in with the younger players. You've got Nicky Bull in goals. Even then, a very young goalkeeper. Roscoe Desane was doing extremely well. Aaron McLean, John Challoner. I mean, the list is endless. But there's some real talent in that squad.
Yeah, and I think it was that front four of myself, Roscoe, Aaron, and John Challoner as well. Kind of got a lot of plaudits at times just because we were so exciting to watch. It was brilliant being backed up with your Ray Warburtons, Dom Sterling, and Dean Hooper, Chewy, all these players, John Nutter as well back there, just giving you that solid base where you could then just go and express yourselves going forwards. And it was just a really, really fun time to play. Like we say, playing up front with Roscoe or Aaron and then having John behind. We played some ridiculously exciting football at the time. And at times it didn't need to be intricate. It didn't need to be massively planned. It didn't need to be particularly tactical. We just went out. And again, Terry was very good at letting us just go and express ourselves. And I've always said with Terry's massive strength was always his recruitment. His recruitment was incredible. He just seemed to pick really, really good players pretty much all of the time. Who really gelled together and really enjoyed playing as a team. And the rest kind of just left itself to speak for itself on the pitch. We just kind of gave us a bit of license to go and play on the pitch. And it seemed to work really well. So, just so much talent in that squad. And even the lone players we brought in, and then the players we brought in, like your Adam Millers and, Steve Watson subsequently, and people like that, just absolute colossal players who all deserve to have the brilliant careers they did.
So as the season's progressing, we're hovering around those playoff positions. Chester were an exceptional team that year, and Hereford were too. We'll come to the Hereford game in the playoffs later on, but there were two really strong sides in there. But we're holding in there, and we're in a position a lot of people never thought we would be, because there was no real expectancy in that year to do what we did. But when was there a belief in the camp that we could get to the playoffs here? We've got the capabilities of doing so.
I think we always had that belief. Again, going back to that first meeting with Terry, it was always weird when you go into football negotiations. You have to become someone that you're not particularly comfortable being at times, unless you are already that person. So you've got to sell yourself. You've got to sell yourself big. You've got to obviously get the best deal you can. So I suddenly had to become this more arrogant person. I've always been confident. And people who don't like me would probably call me arrogant, because that's how I'd want to perceive myself to people who I don't particularly have much time for and don't have much time for me. But when you come into that negotiation, you have to be that slightly more confident and arrogant person. And I told Terry at the time that I would get him promotion. I was confident that we had a good enough team, and I was confident in my own abilities, that we could still push on and go up. And I think, even from the pre-season and the start of the season we had, after 3 games, having got 9 points from a tough home game and then 2 really tough away games, Telford, who were massively fancied, and we went and spanked them 5-2. I think even after that, we were like, we could do something special here if we just, keep on track and make sure that we keep fighting for each other as we had from the start. And I don't think that belief ever went, even though we kind of only just scraped in at the end. We were very much always throughout the season believing that we could upset the full-time teams and kind of really go on and do something special.
We'll talk about the playoffs in a minute, but just a little touch on the FA Trophy run that year, because we got to the semi-finals, but you ended up in goal by in the semi-final when we got knocked out against Hensford. Nicky Ball getting sent off, so you probably weren't expecting to be in goal by the end of it. I suppose on a serious side, a touch of disappointment that we never got to the final, because every player wants to get to the final of that competition. I can't remember if it was Wembley final at the time. I'm not sure, but I don't think it was actually. Was it?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Wembley. I think I think Gray's got there that year. Was it Gray's got that year? And I think it was at Villa Park.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no wonder why too. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change.
So yes, it was one of those things that just wasn't. I don't know. We should have won, shouldn't we? I mean, they were a league below. We were at home in the first leg, and we just didn't turn up. We just didn't play well. We just, I don't know what happened then. That was one of the real sort of disappointments of that season. And then we ended up. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. And then we ended up basically going away to the second leg, still believing we could turn it around and kind of get the victory that we needed. And I remember it was one of the only two. I only got dropped twice that season. One was the trophy semi-final second leg, and the other one was the playoff final. So he definitely chose his moments, did Terry. And then obviously came on. Bully got sent off, and I ended up with gloves on. So just strange. I still one of those games where you look back and just go, how did we not win over those two legs with the team we had and the momentum we had going forwards? And we did. Towards the end of that season, we were struggling. We were really struggling to pick up wins and points, and only really just scraped into the playoffs. So it was that was a frustrating one, that's for sure. Definitely one of the lower points of the Aldershot career.
So let's talk about the playoffs, because firstly it was Hereford, and it was one of the most memorable games for Aldershot supporters at the second leg at Hereford, the penalty shootout. It was a fantastic day. It was a bank holiday Monday, if I remember rightly. It was just everything that could have gone in our favour went in our favour, and we capitalised on it. They had an early sending off, and it was just a fantastic day. And then, of course, you played your part in that.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. truth or lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly.
It's one of those, again, like you say, I think, what, they 21 points ahead of us at the end of the season. Home game in front of 6,000 fans, live on TV. We just had to stay in the tie and just see what happened. And obviously, I think Roscoe got a penalty and took us there with a 1-1. So, like you say, when we get there, you still, again, what was it, 5,000-6,000 people at Hereford, and having played at Hereford subsequently in my career, I know what passion and fervour they can create as well, and everything did go for us. I think it was Tretton got sent off for pulling back Aaron, and we'd been there earlier in the season, and lost 4-3, I think, in an absolute incredible game where we should have probably won that as well. And then we kind of fought and scrapped all the way through to the penalties. Even the penalties were down in front of the big collection of Hereford fans, it was just one of those times. I never liked taking penalties, but it was one of those things. As a centre forward, it was always a weird thing. I remember the first penalty I ever took in men's football was against Aldershot, actually, for Basingstoke Town, when we played at home, and it was the first real sort of big game that I'd ever played in, and we won. Basingstoke won 2-1, and I scored both, including a penalty in the last sort of couple of minutes. And I still never really enjoyed taking them. So when it came to the penalty shootout, I was like, well, I've got to take one. I'm a centre forward, I need to stand up and be counted at this point. Happily took the fourth one. That was always kind of the position I wanted to be in a penalty shootout. Obviously, Roscoe got us off brilliantly, and then Will Ants, we finished it. It was one of the best penalties I ever took, that's for sure. Under that pressure, it was right in the corner. It was as close to the post as I could get it. The relief afterwards was absolutely incredible. I've never been so nervous or even probably scared going up to a ball at the time, in front of all those fans kind of willing you to miss. And it was the after party was fantastic. I remember driving home on the coach, and then we stopped at a pub not too far from Hereford and had a drink, and it was fantastic. And then when we got back to the ground, many hours later, someone had already put a sign up congratulating us, on a big sheet, and it was just it was an incredible feeling beating them. As much as so many people thought it was unjust, the fact that we were 21 points behind, how did we get there? Well, that just summed us up from the season, really. Like you say, just going above and beyond everybody's expectations. It was horrendous, and like I say, I think we had 2 chances to win it, and we were all convinced on the bench that was it. We were through, and I almost hate to think what would have happened if we'd actually won it. And my one abiding memory of that game is obviously Scott Davis scoring that goal, but Mikkel Anderson having the biggest chocolate wrists I think I've ever seen for a shot, and he 100% he should have saved that.